Fear tends to be paralyzing. Fear tends to be paralyzing in terms of overthinking, in terms of trying to get it perfect. Fear can be a really, really good drive to put a little like anxiety, if you will, some stir behind your actions to get things going, right? But then it can also be really debilitating if it makes you paralyzed, right? If you're just stuck in the overthinking or you're stuck in the planning portion of your business. Welcome to Mindset Mastery Podcast, where we explore the intersections of motherhood and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Julissa Edwards, and in each episode, we're diving into mindset, emotional regulation, and the real stories of mom entrepreneurs navigating both business and family life. Let's get into it. Hello. I want to give a quick insight that this episode is being filmed live on Instagram. So if you see me responding to people's comments, or if you hear me responding to people's comments, that's why. Or if you hear me giving a behind the scenes of how things work, that is why. Something fun that we tried this week, regardless, the information here is potent and it is so vital. So I really hope you enjoy this episode, and I will talk to you all very soon. Enjoy. Alrighty, welcome back to another solo episode on Mindset Mastery with yours truly, Julissa Edwards. Today, I want to have a different spin on my solo episode and talk to you about all the necessary characteristics needed to run an online business, or actually just to be an entrepreneur and run a business. So let's start out with the most common fears that I think people get into or experience when they're first starting off. I've been doing a lot of market research with a plethora of individuals, to be frank. I've interviewed a lot of individuals that have not yet began a business and would love to. And I've also begun interviewing a lot of my colleagues that have been in the entrepreneurial space for about anywhere from like 3 to 10 years, and what they've learned, what was their beginning experiences like, and also what is challenging for them even right now in business, even as seasoned entrepreneurs. For those of you that don't know, I have an array of coaching programs, and one of my most favorite programs that I have run, or the population that I love to work with, are entrepreneurs in every stage of their facets, or stage of their business, I should say. And I think it's a common misconception that like when you're doing really well financially and you have a really good brand out there, that like all your problems are resolved. And what I love holding space for is really tending to those hearts and CEOs that are doing fantastic in business, but some things in their personal life also need tending to. So I've worked with an array of people as over 10 years in the field of a therapist, but also just different pockets of coaching experiences when it comes to mothers in business, entrepreneurs, whether you're just starting off or you're seasoned. And I am a nerd for all things psychology, so I just love learning more about human beings and why we tend to do what we do and what's stressful, how can we help, and I hope that this episode shines light on that. Okay, so let's get into it. The beginning fears, usually when trying to start a business, put yourself out there, this is what usually comes to mind. When I'm reading, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notebook, because I just got off of another networking call, and I got more beautiful insight to bring this forward. So fear tends to be paralyzing. Fear tends to be paralyzing in terms of overthinking, in terms of trying to get it perfect. Fear can be a really, really good drive to put a little like anxiety, if you will, some stir behind your actions to get things going, right? But then it can also be really debilitating if it makes you paralyzed, right? If you're just stuck in the overthinking or you're stuck in the planning portion of your business. And then you just never actually start and do the damn thing, right? So that is one beginning hurdle that most people have to overcome. Then when I was interviewing a lot of moms in business, but they're already in business, so they've been doing this for like 3+ years, a hardship that they remember having to overcome was believing that this was actually possible after being a mom and or wife for so long, which is so real, right? Like I think as ambitious women, we tend to, I know I do, want to be the best in everything that we do. And so when I had the whole phase of my life where my kiddos were like the two under two, life was rough, it was a lot at that time. But I was still persevering even through the hardships. It doesn't mean that I wasn't having hardships. It's just that my drive to keep going and my drive to make things better and my drive to be the best person I can be, no matter what life is throwing at me, would always keep me motivated to just stay one step ahead. Or not even one step ahead, but just to keep going, keep going, keep going. And yes, like motherhood can swallow you. Becoming a housewife can swallow you. A stay-at-home mom can swallow you. And like there are so many benefits of doing those things. It's just sometimes we go into different roles, even at work, and like that identity can overtake you, right? And so for a lot of moms that I interviewed that were once working, then took some time off to be with their kiddos, and now wanted to begin a business, there was a lot of, can I even do that anymore? Is this something that is still feasible for me? I've forgotten my way in the workplace. I've forgotten my traction, how good I can be. And is it actually a realistic idea that I can just start a business from home and make it happen, right? These are real thoughts that are happening in the conversations that I'm having with people concerning their business, right? And so mm, another big hurdle is sometimes struggling overcoming that inner critic that tells you that you can't, that tells you that this isn't the right time, that this is too hard, that you don't have the proper resources, that you don't know where to begin, that you need too much, what, you fill in the blank, whatever excuses you may have maybe currently juggling with, or if you can remember the beginning of your business, if you're already a business owner, what that was like for you in the beginning. And then also the big one here, trying to do it all, trying to continue the same type of lifestyle that you had, um, being the mom that does the laundry, that does the cleaning, that does all the things without asking for support. One of the biggest portions of my program inside BBB, Balancing Business and Babies, is learning how to delegate, not only in your business, because it's necessary as a mother, but also in your household, right? And a lot of mamas that come to me, whether you're in business or not, they have a really hard time doing this, hard time asking for help, hard time. Um, I say I train my clients that you are the CEO in your business and in your life and in your household. And if you have a beautiful partner that supports you, it doesn't mean that you're overcoming their leadership. You're just guidefully aiding them, aiding the household, and how you see that it can run just like an organization, especially as the kiddos get older, they have appointments, they have sports, like it can be hectic, right? And that same mindset that you thrive in as an entrepreneur, as a leader in your workspace, that also has to come through in your household. And it can't be you doing all the things. It can't be you doing all the things in business. You will burn out. It can't be you doing all the things in the household. You will burn out. And so let me get into now the characteristics that it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. And I get so hyped up and juicy, like flow, like all the juices are flowing for this conversation, because I really want to make it clear, if these characteristics sound like you, then you are most definitely in it to win it, and you can be very, very successful in business. Like I said, over my time of counseling a lot of individuals, so I'll give a little bit of backstory there. When I was working as a traditional therapist, 9 to 5, somebody else's practice, when I worked in private practice under somebody else's business, I learned so much of different population, different kind of problems that I was helping people with, and I saw a pattern. A lot of people that would come see me would end up becoming entrepreneurs, or at least beginning their businesses. I would help people, with their anxiety, the depression, whatever they were coming in with, marital issues, couples counseling. And I saw a trend that at the end of my time working with people, they would begin a side hustle that would be profitable, that would be exciting for them, that gave them purpose, drive. I help people with their overall belief in self. And also I help people find their true happiness. I think a lot of times in life we get jaded, or we just, kind of become unconscious and just follow the pattern of like doing what you think you're supposed to be doing. And listen, life is a journey. You're never getting it right the whole time. But I really help people pause, stop, and reflect on like, well, what do I actually want to do with my life? How do I actually want my life set up? What would make me ultimately happy? And then I help them with the whole manifestation piece of it of like, all right, this is how we do it. This is how we can start doing it. And that comes with some hardships sometimes. That comes with creating boundaries, that comes with vocalizing what we need to our families or our bosses. I have helped people incorporate. A time in my business, I was working a lot with like C-suite individuals that were, head of VP, head of marketing, CEOs. And as you can imagine, like they have a lot of stress on their shoulders. And so I would help a lot of individuals in leadership create better boundaries at work. Which sounds, I don't think it sounds silly, it's very important, but the mindset sometimes that I would come across is like, oh, that'll never happen. It's like, oh, you can't expect that to happen in a workplace. And I'm like, all of my clients did. We ended up making it work, right? And so, to achieve that work-life balance, to achieve a healthier mindset in work and business, all the things. And so, why did I go there? I was giving you guys a backstory. In my time of being a therapist and helping people and then being a coach for the last 5 years, I am so blessed. I love what I do for a living. I have helped so many people, and a lot in business. And so when I was working as a traditional therapist, there was a trend that everybody ended up becoming an entrepreneur or had a side hustle that was very, very profitable. And I was like, okay, what is happening here? What is the thing that is changing in our sessions, and what is allowing people to go out there and do the damn thing? And so here are some of those characteristics. Individuals that tend to be go-getters and hardworking people. Okay, so individuals that not just at work, but anything that you do in life, you give it your all. You go hard. You like praise. You like knowing that you're doing a good job. You like feeling that you are doing something right. And you take pride in the work that you do, whether it's planning a personal event for your friends, doing something at work for leadership, showing up for your children, trying to have like a really good household, whatever it is. And think about even from like your earlier stages in life. When you were a kid, maybe on a sports team, or maybe you were captain of something, or maybe you were the leader of like your debate team at school. Like you have a track record of being someone who takes leadership, someone that people look up to. Um, and you take pride in doing those things well. That is a really good trait to have as an entrepreneur. Another characteristic that I find across conversations is having to make things worthwhile. So, I am personally on a journey of taking moms into business that want to leave their 9 to 5s or have been with their kiddos and want to make income from the household with something that they're passionate about and something that they already kind of have skill sets in. Um, and so this notion of it has to be worth my while. If I'm going to go out and put myself out there on the line and create a business, it has to be worth my while. I'm not here to make chump change first and foremost. And I'm also not here to not have impact. So whatever I'm doing, I want to make sure that I'm helping people far and wide. And I also want to make sure that I'm making a return of my investment of time, investment of energy, while I'm building this thing. So you kind of have to have the long vision at hand and have enough momentum and umph and energy to keep it going even when things don't necessarily go your way. Even as you're learning, even as you're pivoting, even as things aren't working, um, you have enough belief and passion that if I started this, I'm going to see it through to the end kind of energy, because entrepreneurship has a lot of ups and downs. There are also seasons in entrepreneurship, depending on what it is that you do or that you sell or whatever service that you provide. There are going to be seasons that are high and seasons that are low. And it's to be expected. And you have to be someone that is good at regulating your nervous system, um, because it can and it will interfere with your personal life. And there's a skill set there to be learned about How do I keep business in business, and how do I keep my personal life personal, right? How do I not let my business fears and worries of sales or leads or income or client, let's say negative client experiences, like how do I not let that get in the way of my personal and family life? How do I keep them separated, right? It's very hard to do, honestly. It's a constant, for me, it's a constant shifting of like, I go downstairs, I clock out of work, I go downstairs, and my brain can still be buzzing with like what happened that morning in business. And I have to consciously remind myself that, all right, business is done. You can tend to those needs tomorrow. You are here now to be present with your children. What are they doing? What are they talking about? What do they want to play with? What can you do with them? Do you want to go to the park to get yourself out in nature? Like, I will have to do whatever it takes to regulate myself so that I can be fully present with my children once I'm out of work, right? And it doesn't mean that I don't still think about business as I'm playing with them, or, because I get a lot of inspiration from being outside, being in nature. It's like my brain is always thinking about how I can better my funnels, better my client experience, better my programming, whatever, and if it's really, 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 one of my tricks is that if it's like really, really pressing, I'll just take out my phone. I have a Word doc that I just put all my ideas into that I will focus later when I get back to work, or in my team meeting that we have on Tuesdays, right? And it's like, okay, I have the idea down. I won't forget it. Back to playing with my kiddos. And it's a constant like, oh, I'm catching myself thinking about business. Let's be present. Let's focus with the kids, what they're doing. And, it's a constant catching and readjusting so that you don't get sucked into just thinking about business while you're with your family. Hi, Nico. For those that don't know, I'm going live on Instagram over here. So if you see me doing some of that, that's why. Okay, so another really important characteristic. Hey, mamas, let me ask you this. Do you dream of starting your own business but feel overwhelmed by where to begin? You're not alone, and that's exactly why I created our free WhatsApp group, Balancing Business and Babies, a safe space for moms like you who are ready to take that first step towards entrepreneurship while balancing the beautiful chaos of motherhood. Inside, you'll find daily mindset shifts and tips, encouragement from women on the same journey, and bi-weekly free community calls. Whether you are still in the dreaming phase or ready to take action, this group is here to support you every step of the way. And the best part? It's totally free. Just click the link in the show notes below to join. Mama, your dreams are very much possible, and you don't have to do it alone. Let's build your vision together, and I'll see you in the group inside. Another really important characteristic when building a business, being in business, and also sticking it through in business is being a self starter. You cannot wait to have things handed to you in life and in business. I want you to look at your track record of like, how many things in my life have I done because I felt an urge to do so, and I began the research, and I began looking at what's possible, and and then maybe later you hired a mentor, and or you went to school for something and then you got your degree, like, but you have to be a self-starter because you're going to need a lot of that energy when it comes to business because it's constantly changing. You're constantly having to learn new things, and no one's going to hand it to you. You got to be in it, and you have to be willing to kind of make your own book, if you may, your own guidebook. Um, when it comes to that, I have this underlined 3 times: belief in self. You also have to have this unwavering belief that you are meant for something greater, that you are capable of doing something like this that is off the beaten path. To be frank, this is no like diss or shame towards the 9 to 5 world, but I've spoken to so many entrepreneurs that say it would be so much easier to go back to a 9 to 5, to have somebody else telling me what to do, how to show up on all the things, because it takes the thinking out of it. Even though 9 to 5 work can be very, very demanding and very, very hard, um, this is where I like to say, like, you choose your heart, right? Do you choose the heart of having autonomy over your life, flexibility, time, freedom, all those things, with the notion that you have to be a leader all day, every day to run the business, right? Or do you take the heart of somebody else is calling the shots and I can show up and they handle all the other behind the scenes work that makes the company run as a company, and I just do my task and then I'm done with the day, right? Again, I'm not shaming either or, not one is better than the other. It just really comes down to what kind of a person you are and what kind of life you want to live. And either route is amazing. There's great benefits of having a 9 to 5, and there's also great benefits of being an entrepreneur, right? Strong in faith is another huge characteristic. Being strong in faith. So it doesn't matter what religion you are a part of, or if you're someone who is more like me, that is more universal in their beliefs and take a little bit of everything. I reviewed many different religions. I was raised Catholic. I have a lot of insight on different theologies, if you may, and I love them all. All of them have good things to offer. Yeah, I take what lands and I leave what doesn't. And regardless, faith has to be highly up there. It needs to be highly, highly up there. Just like anything in life, there will be dark seasons in business and in entrepreneurship. And you have to believe that this will work out for the betterment, because it always does. Everything always works out. Even when things are not going your way, even when money isn't coming in the way that you would like it to, or at all, even when maybe you're making an investment and you lost some money, like, you have to stick it through and know that everything is a learning experience and that it will be okay as long as you keep going. The only way it won't be okay is if you stop, right? So if you already have that kind of knowingness within inside of you, you'd be a great entrepreneur. Okay. Have to know that you are smart and capable. You are smart enough to figure things out. You're capable of getting it done. You'll know who to go to for guidance. You will not do this all by yourself. Like, you have to know that you trust yourself in making the right decisions for your business so that it can be fruitful and so that it can have longevity. Okay. Um, and then perspective is this final piece that I want to go into here. Perspective, right? If you have a healthy perspective over life, meaning that even when life gets hard or even when life is grand, you're always able to kind of have like a outside view of everything that's happening in your life with the purpose of being curious and someone who is very observant, right? So it's like, oh my goodness, like, I'm so blessed to live this life. Like, I love, love what I do, all the things. It's really easy to be that way when things are going well, but it's a beautiful skill set to have when things are not going well, right? And still being able to shift your focus on what what are the things that I can still hold on to for gratitude? What are the things that are going well? Who are the people that love me? Even though I'm going through a really hard time in my life, who can I reach out to for support? Knowing that this is never the end and that there is always a solution, if you're willing to sit in the discomfort for just a little bit until you find clarity, right? And if you are in business, you know that, like, that happens all the time. It's up and down, it's up and down, it's up and down. Something that I like to do in my business that keeps me stable for moments like this is a quarter success sheet. So, like, quarter one, two, three, four, all the things that me and my team are doing really, really well. All the actual, like, data perspectives, insights that are happening well. Like, for example, in our last team meeting, we tried something new in our email marketing, and we're finding that people are clicking more on our links. That's beautiful. That's a sign of progress, right? And so that'll go down in my quarter success list, right? We're still in quarter one. It'll be like, we hired our click rates from this percent to this percent, and that's fantastic, right? Those kind of things will hold me over for when I have a really bad day at work, or I feel like I'm failing, or I feel like nothing's working. It's like, okay, those are just your feelings. Or what are the actual facts here that we can actually derive proper insight from, to help balance when things aren't going our way. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. If you feel that you are someone who has that go-getter attitude, that you are a hard worker and you have commitment to self, to see things through, that you have self-belief, that you are smart and capable, that you have perseverance and resiliency, that's really important, right? All these characteristics make for a phenomenal person and a phenomenal entrepreneur. And if you feel that this is you and you have what it takes to put yourself out there and do the scary thing, even when you don't know what you're stepping into, and you are, yeah, well, yeah, if this is you, I think you'd be a perfect fit for BBB. Obviously, if you are a mama, if you caught this live or this episode and you are not a mom, I also help entrepreneurs that are not mothers. But if you are, we have our beautiful program running right now, which is BBB, Balancing Business and Babies. Um, it's a beautiful program where we teach all things mindset that is needed to be a healthy entrepreneur, and of course strategy. What are the proper steps to take to run an online business, be profitable? And what I'm personally teaching my mamas is with limited time, right? Because we're busy, we have a lot of different places that we have to juggle. And my experience in entrepreneurship has been working traditional 40 to 50 hours. In the beginning, I was mimicking what my 9 to 5 was doing, hated it, scaled back. I was reflecting even on one point of my business. I want to get back here. My one of my team members reminded me of when I used to take 1 month off every quarter. Isn't that crazy? I used to in the beginning of my business, well, it was like my second year. I used to work for 3 months, take 3 to 4 weeks off, and still have income coming in during that time. It absolutely insane. It's insane for me to even think right now that it's possible because I'm not doing that at all right now. But to be fair, I was working like 30 to 40 hour work week then, and now I'm working 12 to 16 hours a week. So you could say that I'm taking my time off every day after 11 a.m. Be open to the changes of business and entrepreneurship, and just know that anything is feasible. And what I love most about being a mother in business is that I get to change my business model. I get to change the way that I run my business, the way that I impact lives, whether it's high touch or for more of like a community aspect of things. I change it as I see fit to what is happening in the lives of my children, to what our life is calling for at that time. And I think it's beautiful. So if you possess those characteristics that I mentioned previously, and you are a mama who's looking to go into business, and you don't need me to convince you that you can do it. You know that you can do it. You just want someone to guide you. You just want proper steps of someone who's done it with children. Then this would be the perfect program for you. So in the show notes, we will have the links provided to apply. And if I read your responses and I think that you're a great fit, we will reach out to you and get you on my calendar to talk business and see if this is going to be a great fit for the both of us. And yeah, I am already buzzing with excitement with all the women that get to hear this, all the people that heard this episode and this live on Instagram, that it could be a really good indicator, like, yes, I can do this. Yes, I am fit for this. Yes, this is a calling for me, as it was a calling for me 5 years ago. And it is hands down the best decision I've ever made. Business has allowed me to grow as a person, as a leader, as a business owner, of course, and has been for me the perfect complement to my motherhood experience. I think all the growth that is necessary to have in business has only then trickled over into motherhood, and allow me to be more observant, allow me to be more tactical, more loving, more endearing, more empathetic, more understanding with my family and my children. And for me personally, I wouldn't want it any other way. So that is all for today. A really short and sweet episode, solo episode. Thank you for the Instagram community for joining me behind the scenes. And yeah, this is how we do it. So let me go ahead and end this over here. All right, you guys, thank you for listening. Bye for now. Thank you for joining me today on Mindset Mastery Podcast. I hope today's conversation inspired you to embrace your own journey of balancing motherhood and entrepreneurship. Remember, it's all about mastering your mindset to create a life of success and fulfillment in both areas. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more incredible moms just like you. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and mastering your mindset.